do for now is just turn from one side to the other. So what I'm going to do is spiral out and down on the right side. I'm going to spiral in and up on the left. So this draws in, that expands out. So it's this. Let go of any extra tension that's going on in this. If you find that you're fighting yourself as you do this, that's what we're trying to get rid of. So it should be coordinated, both spiraling this way. And this closes, this opens. Now we're going to go to the other side. So now the right leg spirals up and in, the left leg spirals down and out, and I'm going to turn to the right. So from here, it's this with the feet, and I'm turning to my right. Be careful that you don't go so far that you lock out this hip. You want to make sure that it stays rounded and open like we've talked about in previous videos. So here, turning this way, and then to the other side, they're spiraling this way. So one down, one up, and the opposite going back to the other side. Spiral, draw in, expand out. Spiral, draw in, expand out. This is all movement from the lower dantian as it relates to functions of the legs and feet. So expand from the lower dantian, draw up to the lower dantian. Expand from the lower dantian, draw up to the lower dantian. And try to keep the knees and the feet aligned as you do this. When you come to the side, if you look back, you should be able to see that there's alignment with the knee and the foot. If I look down and I see my knees over here and my foot's over here, that's a problem. I need to open that out so that they're aligned. Here, and then rotate to the other side. And rotate to the other side. We're going to do that a few times together now that you have an idea of how it's going to go. So I'm again going to face away from you. We're going to do this as a follow-along exercise, and we're just going to do it several times back and forth so that you get a chance to follow along as if you're in a class with me and actually practice this exercise so you get a feel for it before you go off and practice on your own. So stand with your feet nice and wide. Turn your toes out. Make sure your knees are aligned with your toes. We're going to go to the right first of all. Find your alignments all the way through the body as we've talked about previously. Right leg turns in, left leg turns out. Shift to the right and turn. Shift to the left, right leg turns out, left leg turns in. Turn to the left. Shift to the right. Rotate in with the right foot, out with the left. Shift to the left, rotate out with the right foot, in with the left. We're just going to go back and forth. And you can start to turn the torso too to add, we have this rotation with the legs and it's continuing up through the spine, right? So I can keep directly with the hips and just focus on the legs, so my body's only going to go as far as the hips go. Or I can turn and allow that twist to go through the spine, and I can turn a little bit more in the direction that I'm turning. So turn to the left, turn to the right, turn to the left. Okay, now that you have a feel for how this is going one side and then going to the other, we're going to connect this together. So it's going to be a little bit more continuous. And this is something that you've seen many times in Taiji forms before. So we turn to this side, we're going to start to shift back and turn to the left. We're going to start to shift back and turn to the right as we shift to the right. Then shift back, turn to the left as we shift to the left. And focus on the silk reeling through the legs. Spiral in with the left, out with the right. Spiral out with the left, in with the right. You're just going to continue to do that. You don't need to make big circles with the knees. In fact, keeping them a little bit more stationary and not making huge circles is going to add a little bit to your stability. So it's better training, especially if you're planning to do something like push hands later, or if you're just wanting to increase your stability overall. So spiral out with the right, in with the left. Spiral out with the left, in with the right. Now what you can do for breathing is you can choose one direction as your exhale. So exhale to the left and inhale to the right. Or you can do the opposite. So you would inhale to the left and exhale to the right. Or you can inhale halfway and then exhale as you transition through that motion. So we inhale exhale. Inhale, exhale. So it's up to you how you want to do this. Typically what you're doing with your arms is going to kind of dictate a little bit more what you're doing with your breathing. You also can just breathe naturally. There's no need to do anything specific with your breathing. It's kind of up to you. Shift to the left, rotate. Shift to the right, rotate. Come back to center, and we're going to bring the feet together to finish our practice. So hopefully you recognize that shifting to one side turning, shifting to the other side turning, this motion is something that we've done plenty of times before in Tai Chi, in previous forms, warm-up exercises, etc. When you're doing this for silk reeling, if you're doing it for a warm-up, you can do a little bit more motion with the knees, as long as you're keeping your knees safe, because what you're wanting to do is increase the nutrients that get to the knees and the wastes that go away from the knees, clearing out those joints. If you're doing this, as I said before, for silk reeling training or for Taiji training, you want to limit that circular motion with the knees and work more on keeping them aligned and not doing such big motions with them. Keep them more stable. And you're just going one side, shift back, the other side, shift back, rotating, shift back, rotating, shift back. So I hope as you do this, you really slow it down and you don't think that just because it's similar to what we've done before with our warm-ups, with other motions in Tai Chi, that you don't really have to pay close attention to it. Because the reason that we do silk reeling exercises on their own is so that we can fine-tune the silk reeling aspects in different parts of our bodies so that when we practice Tai Chi, it's there, it's in our form, it's in what we're doing. And we don't have to worry about the complexity of the form and all the motions going on. We can just focus on the silk reeling aspects. And as we refine our silk reeling skills, right now we're just working on legs, as we refine those, when you go to your form practice now, you'll start to see how it's incorporated in the form, and it's really going to change how you practice the form. And as you go forward and you get more used to that, you probably won't have to do as many silk reeling exercises on their own. You can use it as a warm-up, you can use it as a reminder, you can use it if you don't have time to go through a whole form. But when you practice the form, you'll be practicing your silk reeling exercises. That will be your silk reeling training. But it's important to break it down and find the details first before trying to incorporate it in a complicated form. So that's all there is to this exercise. Focus a lot on those spirals. Focus a lot on that intention of spiraling out with one leg as you spiral in with the other. Coordinate that with what's happening with your hips. Make sure all the rotation in the leg is coming from the hips, not the knees, not the ankles. Those stay aligned. I've said that a ton of times, but I say it over and over because it's so important. My hope is if you hear it a ton of times when you're practicing, it will pop into your head and you'll pay more attention to what's going on with your knees and keep them safer as you're training. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned a lot from it. If you did enjoy this video or if you did learn something from it, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also consider becoming a supporting member for this channel to help ensure more videos like this will be made available in the future. Stay safe and healthy out there, and as always, thank you for watching.